Israel's top-rated Channel 12 TV News reported on Saturday that Iran had launched dozens of pilotless aircraft at targets in Israel and that their flight time was expected to take hours. An expert interviewed by the channel, retired General Amos Yadlin, said the drones were equipped with 20 kilograms of explosives each and that Israel's air defenses were ready to shoot them down. And for the latest on what is taking place in Iran and Israel, we're now joined by SABC News International Desk Editor Sophie Mokoena, and she joins us via our telephone line. Sophie, of course, looking at that breaking news coming in this evening, what do we know so far?
Well, we know that a week ago, Israel launched an attack in Syria, and many diplomats from Iran died because the impact was felt at the Iranian embassy. And Iran at that time issued a warning that it will retaliate. It took days. Many people were speculating that Iran will not retaliate, and this was something that they do all the time when they are attacked by enemies. And unfortunately, they didn't understand that in this case, Iran meant what it said, because it was going to attack. And therefore, tonight we saw Iran launching 50 drones. They are now directed towards Israel. It will take hours before the drones reaches the territory of Israel. Iraq has also confirmed that the drones did pass through their airspace. Lebanon also on standby now with some missiles from Hezbollah. So there is now different areas and points, attacks directed at Israel. The Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, is expected to address the cabinet tonight, maybe in 3 hours' time. He has issued a statement saying that Israel is under attack and they will intercept the drones as soon as they reach Israel territory. But on the other hand, we have the Hezbollah who are also attacking Israel, and therefore it is going to be difficult for the defense system of Israel to focus on all fronts to try and stop the attack. We saw earlier on the President of the United States of America, Joe Biden, who was at his private residence, having to rush back to Washington at the White House to meet his security advisors. And therefore, neighboring countries in the Middle East closing their airspace. That's exactly what Jordan has done. We saw some planes returning back to their respective countries that were supposed to land either in Iran or in Israel. And both countries also have closed their airspace, and therefore tension has escalated in the Middle East. We expect to see the results of these drones later, early hours of the morning in Israel. That will be almost after midnight in relation to our time zone. And I think now many countries, as we speak, leaders are talking to each other to find a way to de-escalate the tension in the Middle East.
And Sophie, it sounds as if, of course, the Israeli Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, this is something that he had expected. Would you say when it comes to the deployment of the defense in that country, has it been deployed yet to try and intercept these drones?
The military planes are already in the skies, are circulating, hovering above different cities and towns and areas in Israel, so that they can fight back, possibly also when there can be missiles directed at Israel, because the expectation is that Iran did launch 50 drones and they've just launched another batch, and people are speculating that from there they might launch the missiles, which are faster than the drones, and therefore it is quite tense. And also the defense system You know that they normally intercept the rockets and whatever is being directed at them. They are hoping that their system will be able to intercept these drones, but we don't know, because you have to use the system also to manage the Hezbollah, who are also launching their own rockets towards Israel, and therefore the attack is a bit complicated, but we know that Israel has got a very sophisticated military. You know that the United States of America and its allies have been sending lots and lots of military capability to Israel, and therefore Israel, in terms of capability and the intelligence, they have that capacity. But on the other hand, Iran has got the support of countries such as Russia, and Russia has been supplying missiles and other military capability to Iran. And therefore, Iran is not a country that cannot or that can be taken lightly in terms of military capability. But we will see maybe in 2-3 hours or 5 hours from now what is going to happen, whether their system will be able to intercept this first batch, 50 drones. There's another batch that has been launched now. It's not clear how many. And we expect the missiles to follow, and they are much faster.
Heavy armory and heavy machinery here. 50 drones are being sent into Israel. What would be the impact for that country that's also dealing with the issue with Hamas?
Well, clearly this comes at a time where Israel's economy generally is weakened. And if you have this kind of attacks, it will be difficult for Israel to continue to be operational in terms of the economic activities. Already there was an announcement that tomorrow there's no schooling in Israel, and therefore it speaks to the instability. When a country is at war, clearly there are problems, and ordinary people will suffer. We saw thousands and thousands of Israelis tonight, out in the streets calling for Benjamin Netanyahu to resign. So it becomes a security, political, and economic dilemma for Benjamin Netanyahu, who is already weak in terms of leading the country in Israel, because Israelis, many of them, want him out. And with this latest development, it's going to be even more difficult for Benjamin Netanyahu, whom we are told that he has left Tel Aviv towards Jerusalem to a place or a house where a friend has got a bunker, and he is now going there for security. But he will be having a meeting with his cabinet. Perhaps later in an hour's time, we can pick up more information in terms of what he's saying. We know as we speak, the President of the United States of America is going to have his meeting with the security advisors. We expect the U.S. also to have a briefing, the military or the defense or Biden himself. And I can tell you, Mbali, as we speak, the telephones are ringing around the world. I'm sure even here in South Africa, there will be people who would call our president just to update him, but also to ask South Africa to do something, because South Africa has got a good relationship with Iran. So as we speak, world leaders are monitoring, watching, and talking about the latest, but we don't know in relation to impact whether it will lead to a full-scale war in the Middle East, and therefore the reality is now in the Middle East, it is very, very tense.
All right, that is a developing story coming out there from our international news editor, Sophie Mokoena, just giving us an insight there in terms of the drones which have been launched by Iran to Israel. Of course, so we understand 50 drones that have been launched to that country.